The sky over Paris was not blue anymore. It was red. Burning red. Clouds moved like smoke, twisting above the silent city. The Eiffel Tower stood half broken, leaning like it was tired. And below it, 5 shadows landed from the sky. They were not human. They were the champions of the Galactic Union, beings of war, destruction, and power. They had crushed planets, burned cities, killed billions without blinking. Their names were spoken across galaxies with fear. But Earth was quiet. The first champion, Koru, the Blade, stepped forward. His body was tall, like a tower armor, made from black stars. His voice echoed without sound. No soldiers, no weapons, no resistance, he said. Earth is already broken. The second champion, Vrel the Mind, floated above the ground. Her head had no eyes, just a blue flame where her thoughts moved. Too easy, she whispered. It feels wrong. The other 3 didn't care. They laughed. Like dust to them, ruined cities, empty homes, and silence. No spaceships, no armies, only wind. The world's communication had stopped 1 month ago. No radio, no signals. No humans, not even cries. They ran, said Koru. Cowards. He slammed his blade into the ground. It echoed through the empty streets. Suddenly something blinked in the distance. A red light, then nothing. They split up to explore. They were told Earth was weak. They were told this would take 1 day. They were wrong. Koru walked alone through the broken city, stepped over burnt cars and cracked roads. If his scanner showed no life signs, no heat, no movement. But something felt strange. He walked into a tunnel near the river. It was dark, too quiet. Then his scanner showed 1 human. Just 1. Show yourself, Koru said. No answer. He walked deeper. Scanner blinked again. Still 1 human. Still silence. Then dash. Clicked a sound behind him. Koru turned, but no one was there. He raised his blade. Then the scanner went dark, and so did everything else. In the city above, the other champions waited. Where's Koru? Rel asked. No answer. No signal. Nothing. 1 champion gone. They looked at each other. This must be Earth's last weapon, one said. Maybe a trap, but they didn't believe it. Earth had no power left, right? Well, they decided to move together. 2 went east. 2 went west. VRL the Mind floated toward a school. Its windows were broken, but 1 door was open. A child's drawing flapped in the wind. It showed humans holding hands under a blue sky. She entered. It smelled of dust and memories. Then music played, soft, faint. A piano. She followed the sound. At the end of the hallway, a figure stood. Small, human, a girl. Rel raised her mind blade. You are not real. The girl looked up, smiled, then whispered, You don't belong here. And everything went black. Rel vanished. Now only 3 champions remained. The city grew colder, the wind stronger, time felt slower. The 3rd champion ran toward the old subway line. This is not war, he said. This is hunting. And they were not the hunters anymore. A voice echoed through the sky, not loud, but cold. You brought your best. You wanted Earth to break. Now watch yourselves fall. The champions looked to the sky, but no one was there. Only the broken Earth, smiling back. Far away, in a secret base deep under the Himalayas, a man watched the screen. He wore no armor, only a black coat with 1 symbol, the Earth flag. He watched as another champion's signal disappeared. 3 left, he said softly. A woman beside him asked, Should we wake Protocol Ghost? He shook his head. No, not yet. Let them feel fear first. He looked out the glass wall into the underground hangar. Hundreds of humans stood, ready, silent, trained, waiting. Humanity was not gone. It was waiting, preparing, back in Paris. The 4th champion turned in circles, weapon ready. Come out, he he shouted. "Fight me." No one answered, but he didn't notice the tiny drone that had landed on his shoulder. It exploded with no sound, just light. And then there were two. The last two champions stood back to back now. The silence was louder than any war they had fought. "Before this was a mistake," one said. "Earth is not broken." "No," the other replied. "Earth is hiding." And it wasn't hiding because it was afraid. It was hiding because it was planning something far worse than war. Smoke rose from the cracks in the street. The wind carried the smell of fire and dust. Paris looked like a graveyard now. The champions knew they were no longer in control. Only two of them remained. Thrackle the stone, big and armored like a tank, and Vexus the fire, fast, angry, and loud. Both stood on top of a ruined building, looking out across the silent city. The sun was going down, but no stars came out, only shadows. Thrackle growled. "We were told Earth was finished." That it had. No fighters left. Vexus didn't answer. Her eyes scanned the rooftops. Her flames dimmed. That was unusual. She never got cold. She was getting cold now. They moved together this time. No more splitting up. Down below in the streets, something moved. Not a human, not a machine. Something in between. A broken robot rolled across the road, dragging one leg. Dead City Patrol painted on its chest. Its screen blinked, then lit. Up. A voice came through. "They sent champions to burn Earth. But Earth doesn't burn. Earth remembers." Then the robot exploded. It didn't harm them, but it made them stop. It made them listen. Vexus walked toward a half-destroyed library. Books were everywhere, burnt, torn, forgotten. On the walls were posters from long ago. "We don't run, we don't kneel, we rise." She laughed. "These words are weak," she said. "Humans are weak." But Thrackle stared at the books. History, war, human wars. There were names: Napoleon, Churchill, Khan, nukes, space marines. He touched a book covered in dust. It was called Earth's Secret Wars. His heavy fingers turned the page, and for the first time, he looked worried. "These were not peaceful people," he whispered. "They destroyed themselves, and still survived." Suddenly, static screamed in their ears. Their comlinks buzzed. A voice, calm and slow, broke through the noise. "Thrackle, Vexus, you should not have come. You broke our skies. Now we break your spirit." The voice was human, but it had something else. A weight. A coldness. Thrackle grabbed his hammer. "Where are you?" he shouted. "Come out and face me," the voice replied. "We are Earth. We are everywhere." Below the library, in an old subway tunnel, something else moved. Silent boots. Fast shadows. A team of humans, cloaked, masked, armed. With silent weapons moved like ghosts. They didn't speak, only hand signals. Each step perfect. No sound. Their mission was clear. Test phase 2. They surrounded the building above. Targets. 2 alien champions. Weapons. Ancient and new. Confidence. 100%. Above. Vexus heard something. Footsteps. Breathing. She spun and launched a wave of fire toward the dark corner of the room. Nothing was there, but a cold hand touched her shoulder. She screamed, turned, and no one was there. Thrackle stepped outside. His hammer glowed red, ready for war. Then he saw it. On the side of a nearby building, in fresh paint. Protocol Ghost. Active, he didn't understand. But he felt it. He was being hunted. Back underground. Inside Earth's hidden command center, the man in the black coat watched the screen again. The one with the Earth flag on his chest. Beside him, a young soldier whispered, "Sir, 2 champions remaining." The man didn't blink. No. Let the ghosts finish the message. He looked up at the live feed from Paris. "They need to understand," he said, "that we never stopped fighting. We just stopped showing it."
Axis.
Tried to contact the Galactic Union. No signal. Tried again. Nothing. No. Oh. Was coming. They were alone. Thrackle shouted from below. We regroup. We find shelter. We fight on our terms. But it was already too late. One by one. Red lights appeared on the rooftops around them. Not drones. Not soldiers. Snipers. Human. Precise. Trained A. Red appeared on Thrackle's chest, then one on Vexus's head, then dozens more. They were not shooting, not yet waiting. Watching, judging, Vexus screamed and sent fire into the sky. The air exploded with heat, but no human cried out. No one ran. No one flinched, because there were no humans on the rooftops, just holograms, decoys. They had wasted their fire from the shadows below. Real humans moved, fast, quiet, ready. They didn't attack yet. They didn't need to. Fear was doing the job. For them, in the distance, a child's voice played through a hidden speaker. Soft, calm. You came to end us, but you woke us up. Out. And now, you won't leave. Vexus finally understood. This isn't war, she whispered. This is revenge. Growled, no, this is a trap. And Earth had just begun to close it. The air above Paris was still thick with smoke. Fires had stopped, but the sky still burned with the memory of war. Somewhere in that silence, Thrackle and Vexus stood side by side, angry, confused, and afraid. They had never known fear like this. Not even in the darkest battles, not even when entire planets fell, but this. This was different. Thrackle's hammer was heavy in his hands. His armor cracked in 2 places. His breathing was slow. He was used to breaking armies with one swing. But now he didn't know who or what he was fighting. Vexus floated beside him, flames weaker than before. Her fire had always obeyed her, but now it felt cold, uncertain. What is this? She hissed. Where are their armies? They don't need armies, Thrackle said quietly. They have shadows. Suddenly, they heard a click, then another and another around them. All across the rooftops and broken buildings, hundreds of tiny. Red lights turned on, not snipers this time, sensors. Then a countdown began. A voice spoke over the city, robotic. But human. Protocol Ghost. Stage 3. Target lock confirmed. Countdown. 10. 9. Vexus screamed, flying into the air. Shut it down! Thrackle roared, smashing one of the devices with his hammer. But the countdown kept going. 5, 4, 3. Shh. They braced themselves. 2, 1. Then silence. No explosions, no attacks. Just cold wind. Thrackle looked around. What kind of game is this? Then the ground began to shake. Not from an earthquake. From beneath the earth, the street cracked. A large hole opened under their feet. Vexus flew up, but Thrackle fell, straight into the dark. He landed hard in a metal chamber. Lights turned on. One by one, all around him, in glass pods, stood humans. But not normal humans. Tall, strong, calm. Eyes closed. Bodies wired with strange technology. A voice spoke from hidden speakers. Welcome to Vault 17, champion. You've found the ghosts. Thrackle stood up slowly. What are they? The voice replied, They are what we became when your kind burned our cities. They are the answer to your question. You asked where the armies are. Here they are, sleeping, waiting, awakened by you. Up above, Vexus flew high into the sky, trying to call the Galactic Union once again. Help us. Earth has fallen into madness. We're using something unnatural. But her signal didn't go out. Earth was jamming every frequency. Then she saw something on the horizon. Not ships, not soldiers, drones. Hundreds of them. And behind the drones, stealth jets rising from the clouds. Shimmering in the sunlight, one of them flew straight toward her. She screamed and launched a fire blast. The jet split into 3, then into 6 holograms, decoys again. Before she could react, one of the real jets passed behind her and fired a silent net. It wrapped around her like a trap from the old world. The fire inside her vanished. She crashed onto a rooftop dash hard, back in Vault 17. Thrakkel looked at the sleeping warriors. Suddenly their eyes opened, all at once. No shouting, no noise, just silence. Deadly silence. Then one of them stepped forward. Woman. Dark skin, cybernetic arm, calm eyes. "You're not the first to attack us," she said, "but you'll be the last to walk away." Thrakkel raised his hammer. The woman didn't even flinch. "You think we hid because we were weak?" she asked. He didn't answer. She stepped closer. "We hid because we were building you a grave." Then she raised her hand in Thrakkel's. Hammer stopped, moving. Frozen, locked in midair by magnetic force. He stared in disbelief. The ghosts didn't just fight like humans. They fought like something more above. Vexus was dragged into the center of the city by drones. Her flames gone. Her eyes wide. She looked around. Screens on every building lit up. One face appeared. General Elias North, leader of Earth's hidden defense force. A man long thought dead. The ghost himself. "Vexus," he said calmly. "You brought champions to crush us. But we don't play that game anymore." "You could have surrendered," she said weakly. He shook his head. "Surrender is something humans don't understand." In a dark chamber on Mars, the Galactic Union finally received a broken signal. One word: ghosts. The admiral of the fleet dropped his glass. He stood up. "Pale, pull them back," he said. But it was too late. On Earth, General Elias turned toward the camera. His face hard, his voice steady. To the Galactic Union. "You thought Earth was asleep, but you woke something ancient? Now we are wide awake." Vexus had never tasted fear. She was made of fire, fast, deadly, untouchable. But now, for the first time, she was on her knees. She was trapped in the center of a broken city. Drones floated around her, silent like ghosts. Her body was weak. Her flames gone. A cold wind touched her skin. Across the square, screens still showed the face of General Elias North. "Your fire is strong," he said, "but fear burns hotter," Vexus growled. "You hide behind machines." "No," North replied. "We are the machines now?" Far below the Earth's surface, Thrakkel stood surrounded by Earth's secret warriors, the ghosts. They didn't blink. They didn't speak. Their movements were smooth, perfect, like they had trained in darkness for years. He swung his hammer, once pure power. The strike shattered the ground, but the warriors moved before it landed. Like they knew what was coming. They rushed him from all sides. Silent. Deadly. Thrakkel roared as he fought. His armor took hits, but it cracked with each strike. These were not ordinary humans. These were survivors of a forgotten war. Upgraded. Trained, unbreakable. He grabbed one by the throat only to feel a sharp sting in his neck. A needle. A virus. His muscles slowed. The woman with the cybernetic arm stepped forward again. "We don't just fight with weapons," she said. "We fight with memory. You don't know what we've lost. That's why you'll never understand what we're willing to do." Thrakkel dropped to one knee. The ghosts surrounded him. He was no longer a champion, just prey above. Vexus screamed as the net tightened around her. She looked up and saw them, the real Earth soldiers, not machines, not drones, people covered in urban camo, moving between shadows like ghosts. Their faces were calm, focused, not angry. Just certain. She fired a last spark of flame, but a man caught it with a special shield. The spark faded in his hands like dust. He knelt beside her. "Your war is over," he said softly. "Earth has already won." In orbit, the Galactic Union command ship finally received emergency transmissions. 2 champions down. Earth resistance. Beyond predicted strength. Enemy forces unknown. Requesting full retreat. Admiral Kor's hand shook as he read the report. How did we get it so wrong? He whispered. An officer beside him said, "We believed Earth was broken. Kor's voice turned cold. No, we believed Earth was like us. Back on the surface, Thrackle was locked in a containment pod sealed, magnetically shut. The ghosts stood around it in silence. The cyberarm woman whispered into her cum. Target captured. One remaining. Vexus still sat in the ruins of the square. Her energy was gone. She looked up and saw something flying toward her slow. Powerful, dark. A stealth dropship. The back opened. Inside stood General North. He stepped down, coat blowing in the wind. His boots echoed on the cracked stones. Vexus tried to speak, but her voice was weak. Why not kill us? North stopped. In front of her, Dada, his eyes were tired but sharp. Because this isn't about killing, he said. It's about memory. The galaxy needs to remember what happens when you push humanity too far. He raised his hand. From the sky, giant screens lit up across Earth's dead cities. New York, Tokyo, Moscow, Lahore, Rio. All of them showed the same thing. The last alien champion, kneeling on Earth, defeated. Alone, the message was live across hundreds of worlds. People watched. Some laughed, some cried, but most felt fear. Because Earth, the forgotten planet, the quiet planet, had just made its first move. North leaned close to Vexus. Tell your leaders something before you leave. She nodded weakly. Tell them this planet didn't survive by accident. We didn't hide out of fear. We prepared. We evolved. Now we remember. The stealth dropship lifted off. It carried both captured champions, sleeping in frozen pods. Destination. Classified. Back underground. General North entered a dark control room. Large screens showed data from across the solar system. Mars, Europa, Titan, all. Active. All waiting. A voice from behind asked, What now, sir? North looked up now, he said. Now we show them why Earth was always the final battlefield. And deep in space, far beyond Earth's reach, alien commanders held emergency meetings. Some wanted peace, others wanted to run, but one thing was clear. The champions had failed. Earth had won, and no one saw it coming. In the heart of the Galactic Union's main station, Helios, Prima, 1,000 alien leaders gathered. The great war chamber was filled with whispers, fear, and silence. Large screens showed images from Earth, images no one thought possible, too. Alien champions, defeated. Earth's cities, once thought dead, now glowing with hidden energy. Humans walking out of the ashes, not broken, but prepared. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Union didn't speak with power. They spoke with fear. Admiral Corvalin, leader of the military high command, stood in the center. His face was pale, his voice tight. We sent our best. We gave them the tools to crush Earth. And yet, he paused. The screen behind him flashed with the words, Protocol Ghost, active. He turned to the council. Earth has been lying to us for decades. They showed weakness, but it was fake. A setup. An insectoid ambassador hissed, But why? Signed the peace accord. Reptilian Chancellor growled. They tricked us. Kor raised his hand. No. They waited. And now they're telling us something loud and clear. Earth never lost. It was watching. On another screen, General Elias North appeared, calm and controlled. This message is not a threat, he said, but it is a warning. Around him stood Earth's elite forces, the Ghost Division, once just a rumor. He continued. We know what the Union did. The virus in Cairo, the destruction of Luna Station, silent black ops on Mars. You thought we forgot. We didn't. Then the screen went black. No demands, no shouting, just silence. A terrifying silence in the shadows of the chamber. Ambassador Sorrell, a member of the Silent Observer race, leaned forward. They could have destroyed the champions in secret. They chose to do it on camera. Why? Asked a younger officer. Sorrell answered, Because humans don't just fight wars. They send messages. Across the galaxy, on over 50 planets, Earth's broadcast reached civilian networks. Farmers, miners, traders, soldiers, everyone saw the same thing. Earth's champions rising, alien warriors falling, and behind it all, a planet awakening. From the dead. On a mining moon called Varak 7, a young alien boy turned to his father and asked, "Are the humans coming?" His father didn't answer. He just locked the door. Back in Helios Prime, the panic was spreading. A tall warlord slammed his fist on the table. "We attack now. Burn Earth before they strike again." But others disagreed. "No," said High Thinker Voss. "We tried that. It failed. They beat 2 champions." Someone shouted. "What happens when they bring out more?" Corvalin took a deep breath. "What happens," he said slowly, "when Earth decides to stop hiding anything?" Chancellor Dren of the Council of Arms played Earth's message again. He noticed something others missed in the background of the Earth broadcast. There was a map, a star chart. It showed not only Earth but old human colonies long thought destroyed, but they were not destroyed. They were glowing green. "Active," Dren whispered to himself. "They're coming back." Back on Earth, deep in the Ghost Division command base. General North watched the satellite feeds. His officers reported strange signals across the galaxy. Trade lanes slowing, military ships holding position, spies disappearing. Earth's presence had returned, and the galaxy knew it. A young officer turned to North. "Sir, Union ships are retreating from Sector 14. North nodded. "They're scared." The officer asked, "Do we attack?" North didn't answer for a moment. Then, "No, not yet. Let fear do our work for now." In a quiet part of the galaxy, far from war, a peaceful alien scientist recorded a private message to any future traveler who finds this. "If you ever discover Earth, don't wake it. Let it sleep. Because if it wakes up, you will remember what fear truly means." Back on Helios Prime, Admiral Kor faced the Council again. "This is no longer a small war," he said. "This is the return of an enemy we thought beaten." He looked around the room. Earth has been watching, studying, preparing, and now they're back. At that moment, every Galactic Council member's personal screen lit up. One new message from Earth. Only 3 words. "We are coming." Space near the outer edge of Galactic Union. Territory had always been quiet, but not today. Dozens of Union ships floated near the planet Corel 4, a key supply world. It had no weapons, no soldiers, just fuel depots, communication hubs, and engineers. A peaceful place. That peace ended at 0400 hours. The first alert came in as a whisper. Unknown object entering orbit. Small, silent, no heat, no power signature. Then, 20 more. By the time the Union fleet noticed them, it was too late. A black capsule slammed into one of the Union battleships. It didn't explode. Instead, it opened, and what came out didn't look human anymore. They moved like shadows, walked on walls, melted through steel. No comes, no warning, just death. Inside the Corel 4 command center, Admiral Shurak stared at the security feeds. One by one, the cameras went dark. "Who are they?" Someone shouted. SHURAK already knew. He whispered the name like a curse Earth. These were not ordinary soldiers. They were Ghost Strike units, a special force. Earth had hidden for decades, genetically modified, cyberlinked, emotionless, each carried ancient Earth tech fused with alien reverse engineering. Bullets didn't stop them. Fire didn't slow them. And they didn't speak. They only hunted. Union troops tried to fight back. Laser cannons, drones, energy. Fields, nothing worked. The ghosts didn't attack head-on. They struck from shadows, used gravity knives, blackout grenades, hacking spores. One by one, control rooms went dark. Fuel depots exploded from the inside. In less than 3 hours, Corel 4 was offline completely. And the last message the Union fleet received before going dark was a cold, metallic voice. "This is Earth's silence. Now, hear our storm." Back on Earth, General Elias North stood before a massive screen showing 20 star systems. Each system had red markers. Former Earth colonies lost during the Old War. Now, blinking green dot reactivated. His command team stood silent. North spoke. They thought Earth was a target. But we are the storm. We don't take planets. He looked directly into the camera. We take back what was ours. On Helios Prime, the Galactic Union's panic became chaos. Emergency meetings, closed-door discussions, no answers, Admiral. Kor watched the footage of Corel 4 again and again. Not a single human face was clearly seen. Just shadows. He slammed his fist on the table. They're ghosts. We can't fight ghosts. High Thinker Voss stood. They don't want territory. Then what do they want? Kor snapped. Voss spoke the truth no one wanted to say. They want the galaxy to remember. On the outer planet Rovax, a galactic trading port, Union patrols spotted another black capsule in orbit. But this time, they tried to intercept it early. They fired 2 missiles. The capsule didn't move. It absorbed the blast, then sent out a pulse. Every electronic system on the planet shut down. Lights, ships, shields, weapons. Everything went dark. Then, a message played on every screen. A man's voice, calm, steady. We gave peace. You gave poison. We asked for space. You gave war. Now we give you silence. The screen went black. Back in Earth's orbital base, a young officer approached General North. Sir, she said, Galactic Union is calling for negotiation. North didn't answer at first. He looked at a photo on the wall, an old image of a city destroyed in the First Galactic War. Millions dead. No justice. Then he spoke. Tell them we'll talk. After they kneel. Across dozens of alien worlds, people gathered in fear. Alien children asked, Are the humans coming here too? Their elders had no answers, because Earth was no longer. A story. Earth was no longer a warning. Earth had become judgment. On the hidden moon base called Kraken Post, Earth's top ghost operatives gathered around a glowing table. The leader, a man with no name, spoke for words. Phase 2? Begin recall? The others nodded. Hundreds of ghost agents spread across the galaxy, hidden for years, suddenly woke up. Sleeper cells in the Union, in royal courts and war rooms. They didn't shout, they just smiled. Earth was already inside, on Helios Prime. The Union High Council gathered for one last meeting. The question was not how to win, it was how to survive. But Earth didn't want survival. Earth wanted the truth written across the stars. Never again underestimate the planet you tried to break. Before the wars, Earth was loud. Music, crowds, speeches, news, chaos. Humans spoke with emotion, with fire. The galaxy saw them as wild, but alive. Then came the silence. One day, Earth went quiet. No messages, no warnings, no answers. The Galactic Union believed it was defeat. But now, they knew the truth. Earth didn't go silent because it was weak. Earth went silent because it was preparing inside Earth's hidden station above Jupiter. General Elias North sat with the council of the old world men and women no one had seen. For 50 years, one of them, an elderly woman with gray eyes, leaned forward. Shall we reveal the truth to the galaxy? She asked. North nodded. They need to know, not because we owe them, but because it will break them more than any weapon. Across the galaxy, the Union opened a forced transmission. The screens flickered. The systems blocked it. But Earth's signal still came through. It was unstoppable. A voice began to speak. It was not loud. It was not angry. It was calm. You thought Earth forgot. You thought Earth surrendered. You were wrong. The screen showed images. Earth cities. Burning during the first galactic invasion, alien warships dropping poison on children. Human colonies wiped out by silent bombs, treaties signed. Then broken by the Union, you took our peace. You called it mercy. But you made one mistake. You left us alive. You're back in Helios Prime. Admiral Kor and other council members watched in silence. Then the next image came. It was something no one expected, a map. But not of stars. It was a map of time. For the past 50 years, each decade marked with coded operations. Deep space listening posts built in asteroid fields. Human sleeper agents planted inside Union academies, reverse-engineered alien tech, combined with lost human relics, whole cities rebuilt underground. Hidden from scans, children raised in silence, trained not for peace, but for vengeance. Voice returned. We turned silence into science. We turned grief into planning. We turned Earth into a trap. In a cold room on Vaulter 6, a young alien cadet whispered, "They were never weak." His commander nodded slowly. They were just waiting. General North stood now on every screen, his eyes cold but not cruel. Behind him stood the first generation of Earth's ghost units, some human, some cybernetic, some beyond recognition. He spoke. When you broke our skies, we buried our rage. When you killed our children, we planted our memories. And when you laughed at our silence, we smiled back. He paused, then added, "We never wanted war, but now we will finish it," and sighed. The Union war room silence took over, the kind that meant defeat. The High Thinker finally asked, "Can we stop them?" Core shook his head. "You don't stop a storm that's already passed through your home. It's back on Earth, in the Vault of Names." Young recruits walked through the Hall of the Fallen. Each wall held names, millions of them humans lost during the early Union betrayals. Some names were carved into steel, others burned into stone. But one wall remained. Empty, a sign above it read, "This space is for those who will never fall, 'cause we learned. We waited, and now we rise." In orbit around Saturn, Earth's supercarrier Silent Dawn came out of cloaking. No. Union radar detected it. No system tracked its movement until it appeared in full view, gliding across space like a shadow with fire behind it, its main weapon. The Echo Drive. Something even Earth's own people feared because it didn't destroy ships. It erased memory, General. North gave the final command to his fleet. Engage Phase 3. The officers didn't shout, "Yes, sir." They simply nodded, because Earth's silence had taught them. Noise is for those who fear. Silence is for those who are sure. On Helios Prime, lights dimmed. Gravity flickered. Earth's final message played. "We gave you every chance," played. "We gave you every chance. You gave us every reason now. You will remember Earth in silence because you will never hear us coming again." The galaxy had changed, not because of a giant war, not because of a new weapon, but because one planet Earth stood up, looked the stars in the eye, refused to kneel. Above the gas giant Tavraz 9, a Galactic Union fleet waited, engines quiet, weapons fully charged. They had orders, hold the line. Stop the humans here. But the humans never came with fire. They came with silence. From deep space, 3 Earth stealth carriers uncloaked. Their lights didn't blink. Their hulls reflected the stars. The lead ship, Silent Dawn, transmitted one signal to the Union fleet: stand down or vanish. The Union admiral on Tavros 9 blinked. "Is that a threat?" whispered his first officer. "That's a warning." The admiral stared at the growing shadow on the sensors. He thought of Corel 4, of the ghost units, of Protocol Ghost. He gave the order no one thought he ever would. Retreat. Across 18 Union sectors, military bases powered down. Warships. Turn back, command centers went dark. Not because Earth attacked, but because fear had already won. In the grand chamber of Helios Prime, the Galactic Union Council gathered for the first full vote since Earth's return. Ambassador Sorrell stood tall. "The humans do not ask for our surrender. They do not demand gold. They don't even ask for territory." Paused. Then added, "They ask only one thing: respect." And for the first time in centuries, every species in the chamber voted the same way. Yes, Earth was no longer a forgotten world. No longer a target. No longer just a myth. It was now a seat at the galactic table. Not at the end, but in the center. On Earth. In the rebuilt city of Unity Prime, thousands gathered. Children, veterans, engineers, teachers, people who had lived in silence for decades. They stood before The Monument of Return, a massive sculpture showing a phoenix rising from ash, its wings wide across the stars. General Elias North took the stage. He wore no armor, no medals, just a simple coat with the Earth symbol blue and green. All again. He looked over the crowd, then said only one line, "We are not here because we wanted war. We are here because they gave us no choice." A young girl in the crowd raised her hand. "Will the stars ever fear us again?" North smiled gently. "They already do," he said. "But now, they'll also remember us for something else." He pointed to the sky. Balance. In the following weeks, Earth led talks with former enemies. Old colonies once marked as lost were reconnected. As peacekeepers, not soldiers, were deployed. Ghost units returned home not as weapons, but as guardians. They were given new missions. Train the next generation. Protect the weak. Never forget what silence taught them. Meanwhile, the Union dissolved its old military council. A new galactic charter was written. This time, with Earth as its co-author, no race, no species, no planet could be hunted again. That was Earth's final demand, and the galaxy agreed. But somewhere, in the cold edges of the void, a hidden voice spoke in the dark. They may control now, but power never sleeps, and one day they will fall like we did. But even that voice trembled, because in the distance it heard footsteps. Not loud, not fast, just steady. Human back on Earth in the quiet. Fields of old Montana, General North walked alone. No ships above, no enemies left, just wind, just sky. He sat by a tree and opened a book. Inside were names, not of enemies, but of friends. Lost in silence, trained in shadows, buried in memory. He didn't cry. He just whispered, "We did it." The stars above twinkled, not in fear, but in respect. The humans had returned not as conquerors, but as something more powerful, as survivors, as the ones who had fallen stood back up, changed the galaxy forever. The end.